She say, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed and my mom, I'm sorry. 50 dub, I even got it tatted on me. 81, they'll bring the crashers to the
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the A&J Soccer Show. We're here back after winter break. Happy to be here with you guys. As always, it's me, Andrew Pipers. Am I right?
Jalen Thompson.
What's up, what's up? Anyway, we have an awesome show. Like I said, we have to talk. We've been gone for a while. We got to talk about what happened over our winter break and some big things happening there. And then going to get into a little bit of the Premier League this past weekend and recap that. And then
yeah, we got a bit of transfer rumors going on. It's a big transfer window. January is always a big time for the major clubs, kind of deciding on whether you're going to finish the season out strong or not. And there's some big ones going around. So first off, we're going to start talking about the break a little bit. What stuck out to you about the winter break?
I gotta go to that City-Liverpool game of the season in my eyes. Yeah. In terms of, if you're a neutral, game of the season. Even for me, okay, not game of the season for the result, but for like the excitement in it. It was amazing. 4-3 for Liverpool. Our first loss to City fans. We won't be the Invincibles, but we're still doing really well.
Still might get the points record.
Yeah,
possibility.
That's very true. Got to get everything we can. But no, I mean, like as a game, it was just it was just crazy. I think Liverpool had about 9 minutes. It went into the second half 1-1. Liverpool had 9 minutes where they scored 3 goals, and City kind of broke down. But I don't know. Did you have any like big thoughts about the game, or are you just like disappointed, or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that hurt. I had a lot of guys on my team that were giving me a lot of stick for the end result, but nonetheless, I think at the end of the day, it came down to that 9-minute period, and our center backs just did not look solid at all. Otamendi, very rare you see him mess up the season.
Yeah, the general.
John Stones back on my bad side again after injury. I give him his credit. Before the injury he had with his hamstring, he was doing fine. He was really changing my opinion about him, and then he gets injured, and since he's been back with the Burnley game, he really messed up in that game, and in the Liverpool, I just didn't think it was a good performance from him, especially that incident of him getting bodied off the ball by Roberto Firmino. As a center back, I think you gotta do a lot better.
You have to, yeah, and he's so much bigger than Firmino also. So I mean, what can you do? But one thing I was proud of City for doing was we played our game the entire time, even when we were doing really bad. Right. We kept playing Pep's way of just passing it around, and we didn't lump it up the field, and we didn't panic. But I think, it was inevitable, or maybe not inevitable, but going to Anfield, we have a bad record there. And, props to Liverpool, like it was a great game. And the team spirit wasn't really hurt after that. They recognized it as a good game.
That was honestly what stuck out to me, because I saw the reaction from the players on social media specifically, and a lot of them were very optimistic in the way they were looking at the rest of the season. You can tell they didn't really care about the Invincibles record. They had something different on their mind. You can tell Pep's hammering in a game-to-game, short-term mindset for them, because they really just focus on the task at hand. So I was very impressed by the way that all the players were posting like pictures of them in the game, tough result, but a lot of them were posting pictures of them like hugging each other and like we're in this together as a team. This won't stop our season, and I mean we bounced back. So
we did bounce back.
That's that.
Yeah, and so City-Liverpool game of the winter break for sure. But I mean there were some other I think things worth mentioning from a City fan's perspective. We're still in all 4 competitions: Champions League, League Cup, FA Cup, Premier League, and we're actually playing in the League Cup semifinal tomorrow against Bristol City. But I think that's
second leg.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really impressive for us that we were able to manage to stay in all 4 competitions, and really, it's a good year to be a City fan. It really is, in my opinion. But there was another thing that happened over the winter break was, not only did Pep Guardiola, but also some other managers in the EPL really started discussing if they need a winter break. So the winter break happens in the Bundesliga. I think it happens in some other leagues, but I know for a fact it happens in the Bundesliga, where it's around when we left for winter break until it's like a month. So it's like December 16th to like January 16th, and no soccer whatsoever. The players get a month off in the Bundesliga, and I don't know what you think about Pep and some of the other managers like saying that they want that. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I just feel like it is a possible danger for players' health. It's a big time for injury, but I just feel like if you're one of the best sides in the world, and you're going for the title there, it shows the depth of your squad. It shows if you can handle that tough transition period. Because when you're having, 2 games in like 3 days, I mean that's a hard on the players' legs, and the manager's got to know how to rotate his players well. And that's a time where us as City fans, we've seen Aguero fall out of the ranks because he starts picking up a knock, and then that leaves us without our star striker for a month maybe, and that falls into Champions League, and starts messing up all the type of different competitions that we're in. So I think it does have a possibility to injure the players, but at the same time I think that it's good that the Premier League goes to the winter break. One, as a spectator, I like to watch all the Premier League games when I'm sitting at home, but at the same time it shows you that the Premier League sides are strong. It shows you how strong they are in compared to the other leagues in the world. And I just think that at the end of the day, if you can come out of there alive, then I think you have a really good chance of winning the title, which I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and I mean I hear you on that one for sure, and I know a lot of people agree with that, but I have to disagree with you, and I understand what Pep's saying. Like I really think that it's like us in school, right? I couldn't expect to go through school from August to May with no break whatsoever, and that's like I'm not doing anything physical, but like mentally it would just be too tasking, and also mentally for these players, it's doing the exact same thing for literally like August to May, and I think not only the physical detriments that you mentioned, but also sort of the mental aspect of it. Like if you do anything, no matter what you do, if you do anything too much, you'll get bored of it. And I just think the players, primarily for their health, need to. I think we need that 4-week winter break. I know the Bundesliga. There's so much excitement when you come back. It's sort of like you watch it. It's like you watch a season of a show and then you have to wait, but when it comes back, you're like that much more excited. Whereas like from the spectator's point of view, the winter break, like it's amazing when you're in there, but then it's just sort of like the teams aren't trying as hard, and it's like, I don't know, it's still Premier League football, but I think we definitely need the break for the health reasons for the players. For the spectators, it'll be exciting again when it comes back, and so physical and mental health for the players. But
I don't know. Just to clarify, I think in terms of comparing us to the other leagues, in terms of if you're in a European competition like UEFA Champions League, it could be a downside just because since they're resting, you're still playing, and that does leave you, vulnerable for injuries. Then you might not stack up very well against the other leagues if you're a Premier League team because of those injuries. But in terms of like staying within the same like league in the Premier League itself, I think that's where you see who the best of the best is in the league, because with those quick succession of games, it shows who wants it, who can have the deeper squad to get through it.
Yeah,
and especially for those teams at the bottom of the table, that's a pretty big time of the year for them.
Yeah, and I mean just to sort of like push back on the depth of squad thing, I think for me, the fan pays to see the best players at every Premier League game. You have the Carabao Cup and you have the FA Cup for games where the best players won't be there. I feel like in the Premier League, you want to see the best players every single game that you're there. And obviously the manager has to rotate the squad when you don't do the winter break. And you might see these people will pay, I don't know, it's expensive to buy a ticket to go to a game in the Premier League. And if you see sort of a B/C team out there, that could be frustrating as a fan. But I don't know. We might just have to agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, I mean, speaking of Pep, Pep's got his eyes on a replacement for Fernandinho. So this is in terms of the big January transfer window that we were talking about earlier.
Sure.
A big guy he has his eye on is a guy named Fred, who plays on Shakhtar.
Right.
And he is also Brazilian, and he sees him as a kind of a replacement for Fernandinho, who is, I mean, I don't see any signs of wear and tear on him right now. He looks like he could go on for days, but I guess he is getting a bit older. I'm not exactly sure what his age is, but it's always good that Pep's looking forward. And Yaya, I don't think has too much left in him. He'll probably leave by the end of the season. So that's another one. Any big transfer rumors that you think looks pretty mouthwatering to you?
I mean, I've been looking into Aubameyang going to Arsenal, and that's really an interesting one. Arsenal fans, I think, would be thrilled to get Aubameyang. I feel like he's been linked to a move away every single transfer window. The pros to getting him are obviously he's an amazing goal scorer, he's insanely fast, and I think he would provide competition. Lacazette. He'd probably have to get rid of Giroud, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It looked like they wanted a package deal with Giroud in there and probably some money on the side. Mm-hmm. But I think as a City fan, it would be terrifying. Going against Aubameyang against our back line, especially if you got John Stones.
Stones on the bad side.
I would be absolutely terrified seeing him run at you. And then, I think if he decides to stay, that convinces Ozil to sign a new contract, which is someone that is thinking probably about leaving with just some of the other players in the club thinking about going. Jack Wilshere is also running out of his contract as well. So it's a big time for Arsenal, especially if they don't finish in the top 4, because I think Wenger might just be out.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that as well. And just a quick thing about Aubameyang. The only negatives that people who are Arsenal fans who I've talked to have said, Aubameyang has some sort of discipline issues at Dortmund. He has a bad attitude a lot of the time. Really? I don't know if that's because he wants to leave. It probably is, but I mean, if you're gonna bring someone in with a bad attitude, you just have to, albeit he's very good, you just have to be careful about that. But honestly, from Arsenal, their locker room is so, not connected like City's is. I think bringing Aubameyang in, a big personality like that, could even be good, just to do that. But, just continuing with Arsenal, there's this winger, is he, I think he's a winger from, Brazil.
Yeah, Malcolm.
Yeah,
he plays on Bordeaux.
Okay.
He's a young guy. Looks pretty promising. Seen a couple of YouTube highlights of him, and he's pretty nasty on FIFA. So we're going by FIFA ratings here, and by the way he plays, then he looks pretty promising. But I think that's the other person that Arsenal really have their eyes on.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be a good addition, just sort of a young Brazilian player. Hopefully he can do a lot for their team. And then another rumor that is becoming more and more rumor and less fact, but still worth talking about, is Antoine Griezmann moving from Atletico over to Barcelona. And there were some serious not allegations, but just sort of Atletico was very upset with Barcelona for approaching Griezmann illegally, because the way you do it is if a player is with a contract with the club, you have to go to the club. You can't just go to the player. Atletico claimed Barcelona just went to Griezmann. It's hey, look how awesome it is here. You want to come here. Assuming this is a factual rumor, do you think Griezmann to Barcelona? Do you think that makes sense with Coutinho, Dembele, and obviously Suarez?
That'd be interesting. That's a lot of big personalities on one team. Mm-hmm. And with Suarez as the main striker there, I don't really see him budging at all to let Griezmann in there. But the depth of that squad would be truly incredible if Griezmann was able to find his way there. That would be, in terms of the Champions League, that's a pretty dangerous squad to come up against. But you're right. The amount of talent they have on that squad is it's crazy to think about. But also, in terms of the talent that's kind of going to be wasted on the bench, those are world-class players sitting on the bench, not getting the time that they probably could get at other clubs. So
sure.
That's just something you gotta think about.
Yeah, and obviously we'll keep you guys updated with any of these rumors that actually go through. But there were some transfers that did go through in this January, namely, which we've discussed already a little bit, Coutinho to Barcelona, which is massive.
Yeah.
I think it's just what we said, adds more depth, but also people are trying to say he's gonna be Iniesta's replacement. I think that you can't replace Iniesta. I think he was just too good for...
Yeah, he's going to be a legend of the club for sure.
Exactly, for replacement. He actually had a quote. He was like, "You really think anyone can come in here and kick me out of Barcelona?" But I think Coutinho handled himself really well in leaving Liverpool. I don't think it was a messy situation. Like, why? Not like Lionel Messi. But, yeah. I don't know what. Never mind. But I think Coutinho to Barcelona is really good for Barcelona, adds depth. And I mean, we've seen what he can do in the Premier League. He's torn us up a couple times. I don't know if you have any other thoughts about him.
I mean, I have a question for you. As well as Liverpool's attack was doing at the time, I mean, they were killing it. They were probably, besides City, the most promising attack this Premier League had at the moment.
Yeah.
And with them having such success in their attack, like as a player like Coutinho, is it right for you to just like leave your teammates in the middle of a season like that when you're working for so much? You're in the Champions League. I mean, there's tons of stuff that you're working towards, and you just bounce like that. Like I don't know. I feel like that's a bit grimy just to do that to your teammates. I don't know. What do you think?
I think if they had a chance of winning the Premier League, he should have stayed. But I think he was just fighting for top 4, which is what he's always been doing at Liverpool.
Right.
I think he thought to himself, me leaving, although it will be harder to get top 4, it won't be impossible with me leaving. And also, he's from Brazil, South America. It's almost every Brazilian's dream to play for Barcelona. And I think if Liverpool would have held him back, he would have started to grow a little bit of resentment for Liverpool, which would have been a bad situation for the summer. Obviously, there's arguments either way, but to answer your question, I don't think it's grimy because they weren't in the title race. If they were in the title race and he left, that would be bad, I would say. Because, that would just be awful for Liverpool fans and Liverpool. But
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I've seen comments where Klopp was like, there was just no way anyone was going to keep Coutinho from leaving. But I mean, you make a good point. It's a tasty offer on the table to play at one of the best clubs in the world. Is, I mean, like you said, it's a dream for many people, and he has the opportunity. I guess we're not in the position to say whether he should take it or not. So,
and for me, it's like if I was playing for some club over there and Man City came knocking, like it would be my dream to play for Man City. Like, and I think that's sort of his mindset too, on that one. But. So that was a huge transfer that happened. He'll make Barcelona even better than they are this year. But another big one that just happened, Alexis and Mkhitaryan.
Big news today.
Swapped. So Alexis is now at United, Mkhitaryan's now at Arsenal. What do you think from both teams' perspectives? Like, you think it's a good deal for both teams?
Yeah, I don't think Mourinho and Mkhitaryan's relationship was very good at United, so I don't think they were using him to the best of their abilities. So I think from his perspective as a player, that's a really good move to get time under Wenger, who, from the comments I've seen so far, just scrolling through my Twitter feed today, it's like Wenger has like a lot of he sees a lot of talent in him, sees a lot of potential, and I think that him alongside Ozil could be a really, really dirty combination. But for United, getting Sanchez, that's big. That's big. That's a lot that they can add to their attack. I know. I don't know if they have like a main man up top yet. Martial has been stepping up over the break, getting them some big goals. Lukaku's still very inconsistent, and Rashford he's young, he's inconsistent, but he steps up at big time. So I think Sanchez is more of an established world-class player. I think that could bring some consistency into the side, and maybe might be an infectious trait that just goes on to all the other players.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of. I think he'll do well at United, and there was a lot of talks about him coming to City beforehand. And this is one of the hottest takes, but I'm actually glad that he didn't come to City, just because. First of all, De Bruyne just signed a new contract today through 2023. He's going to be making around $260,000 a week. And Alexis was coming into City demanding $350,000 a week. So that would have screwed up our wage structure. De Bruyne probably would have been like, what the heck, I'm like one of the best players in the world right now, and you're paying this guy, who is a good player but not better than me, that much more money than me. And that could have really hurt our chemistry, which has been really strong this year. So although Alexis is great, and I'm not bashing him as a player, I just don't think that his personality is conducive to what we have at City right now. Also, we've got so many attacking options, and we've got young players like Brahim Diaz coming through, and I want him to be able to play still. So, you know, I wanted Alexis for a little bit, and then I started thinking about it, and that's sort of what I thought. I'm happy I didn't get him. Other people disagree. I don't know what you think about it.
You know,
he disagrees.
I was a bit disappointed in him, just because with Gabriel Jesus, you know, being injured right now, I feel like some of our players are starting to, you know, drop like flies. It seems like, you know, Delph getting injured in the Liverpool game. You know, Vincent Kompany struggling to get back fit to be able to play, and I think Sane and Sterling, I mean, those are very explosive players, and when you have people like that and they're just one game pull up with a hamstring injury, that's huge. I think I rate Bernardo Silva as a player. I think he's got lots of talent. I see him more as a central midfielder, in my opinion, than I do as a winger. I don't necessarily like him on the wing, but I think if we would have got Sanchez, the depth would have been crazy. It just would have been crazy on the team, because I think he wouldn't have necessarily started. I think we still would have had Sane, Aguero, and Sterling as a front three, but I think he would have, in like at least the Premier League and like the Champions League games, maybe subbed in for Aguero and played in like a false nine type position as a center forward. And maybe he would start the games for like the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, and he would get those starts there. But I just feel like with the way Sterling and Sane are playing right now and their relationship with Pep, I just didn't see him necessarily starting. So it's not like it was a huge loss because he was going to come in and start for the team right away. It was more of a depth thing, especially wanting to win the Champions League this year.
Yeah, we do. You have to have depth.
We have very high aspirations, and I think that he could have been a really big key in helping us win. And I don't know, I see Sanchez as a guy with a big ego, and if you look at the season we're having right now, I mean, he gets a ring for the Premier League, potentially a Champions League. I mean, you're going to get Man U, like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I hear all that, but for me, I just didn't want to mess with this year's chemistry. But I mean, I hear your point on that one. But anyway, so that's what we've got for you guys today. I mean, obviously, if you haven't noticed yet, we've incorporated video, so we're really excited.
Beautiful
about
faces.
That. No, we're really excited about that, and we always want to make this show better for you guys, and we had a lot of you guys say you wanted video, so we went out and tried to do it. That being said, please keep giving us feedback on how to make the videos and the podcast better. Really happy to be back, and
if you guys are excited to see any of your favorite players coming to some of your favorite clubs, just let us know in the comments below. Tell us what you're excited about this transfer window. Tell us what you're scared about, honestly, with some big players going to other teams. Other than that, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.